Hey, everybody.
Hey,
How's it going, Jody?
it's going all right. We're at the end of 2023, and
Yeah,
this
this
is
will be our
our,
last show, won't it?
our last show, and we're going to do our year in review today. Talk
Oh,
about,
I'm excited.
yeah,
Reflecting on the year that's been, it always puts into perspective just how much we've learned and how far we've come and what we've gleaned and
and it's
what
been
we
full
keep
of
and what we
ups
kick.
and downs. Yeah,
Oh, boy.
full of ups and downs, not just with products, but other stuff. So,
Oh, and hey, we got to meet in the flesh. That was pretty awesome. So
yes, we
2023
did.
will always be my favorite for that.
Yes, we got to meet in person in North Carolina.
That was the best.
Yes.
Okay, so let's kick it off with
Yeah.
first one. Oh, there you go. There's
Yeah.
us.
So,
We're going to get
what?
new headshots for next
Yeah.
year, I reckon.
Yeah, because they're old, and we look different. And
We
and
do.
Annie, you look so much better.
I'm feeling so much better.
Yes.
Well, and how are you feeling, Jody?
I'm feeling great. It's the best I've felt in a long time,
That's so good.
in at least 3 years. So, and we'll talk about all that. So, but first, we want to talk about our disclaimer. This presentation is for information purposes only and is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. So first we wanted to talk about our interviews because we've done all kinds of interviews this year. And so we wanted to talk about our top 5 interviews. Now, I have a top 5 and Annie has a top 5. And it was hard to narrow it down for me for the top 5 because I kept reading and going, oh, wait a minute, forgot about that one and that one. So my top 5
too.
Say what?
It was for me too, because this year we incorporated so many other facets to health in our shows as well. So we had not only, ones on with doctors and medical insights, but we had energy and frequency and emotional health.
Right.
It was a big year.
Yeah, it was a big year. So my top 5, my top one by a long shot is the interview we did with Robert Tennyson Stevens, and about conscious language and sacred body language. Yeah. And we'll talk about that when we have a slide about that. And then the second one is I have here the one who shall not be named, like Voldemort, because he's been banned on like almost every platform. And so we're going to have this on YouTube. So if you guys know which was one of our latest interviews, you probably know who we're talking about.
It was a big deal getting him on too.
It was a big deal.
We tried for 12 months to get him on.
Yeah,
I think too.
We tried for a long time, and we finally got him, and so it was great. It was very enlightening. It was very controversial, and a lot of people in our community were like, because he triggers a lot of people with his insights, his research, and his different protocols that he's recommended. So, and we don't even have his full protocol, so we can't even recommend it yet. So, because we haven't tried it. So that, and then number 3 for me was Dr. Cami Owens, and that was amazing. And she talked a lot about the Rasha device that she is call it guardian of the device that she uses. Now she uses a lot of different frequency type of medicine, and she has a zillion qualifications. And that interview was just so good and so enlightening for me. And then my 4th one was with my Wellness Brothers, the cooking episode where Dr. Roman was at his house, and Dr. Rubin and Dr. Roman were there, and they showed the cookware that they recommend, that you don't use any water or any oil, and it preserves like all of the nutrients in the food. And it was so fun because Dr. Roman had his wife and his kids there, and they got to taste it, and they showed all the different cookware they use, and they actually cooked a whole meal, and it was so fun.
That was probably my. It's like a regular cooking show. I used to watch heaps of them growing up.
Such a fun episode, and they're just so amazing. We love them so much.
Yeah, we do.
And then my number 5, and that was hard to decide, but I decided to do Dr. Bartlett because that was a very he was on fire about everything that's happened with COVID and the shots and all the legalities, and just FYI, he was the one doctor who was behind getting Pfizer to release their
9 pages.
The 9 pages of side effects, which that's
what percentage?
1/40th of the total. And so they're going to continue to release that. So, and that's like super important.
Yeah, he's solely responsible for that being released. So that was a big deal. I'm surprised. I mean, I'm surprised that he was one of our least viewed episodes. But
well, he usually when people have him on, they get, well, in 2020, anybody that had him on got canceled, banned. That's why Mike Smith of Out of Shadows got banned, because he interviewed Dr. Bartlett. They canceled Out of Shadows everywhere.
Wow.
After that interview. And then they canceled, Clay Clark got canceled after his interview with Dr. Bartlett. And that's why he started going down his rabbit hole. So a lot of people got canceled after he interviewed Dr. Bartlett because his protocol worked. And they weren't counting on him. He was kind of a monkey wrench in the works. So, and he's
by far the most censored doctor of COVID, by far.
Yeah, by far. And he's an MD, and he knows who's good and who's not. And he's always fighting for free speech and for people and for medical freedom. And he's just an amazing human being, a kind and generous soul who has put his life on the line to tell the truth.
He is. It was a great privilege to interview Dr. Bartlett, which is why he's at my number 3.
Yes.
But I'll go through mine. So, Robert Tennyson Stevens, or as we affectionately got to know him as Bob, that episode was big. We had so many involved in the recording of that episode.
Mm-hmm.
We had live participants. It was great fun. And it was such a fun episode and full of laughs. So many laughs on that episode.
Yeah.
And number 2 is Dr. A. So we'll just leave it at that.
Dr. A. Yeah.
That was a big deal, and that was jam packed. And we'll get him back because we didn't even scratch the surface of what we wanted to ask him. So
that episode got banned from YouTube.
It did within
3 hours. In 3 hours, and then we ended up creating a Brighteon account because of it, and we got a lot of views on that. And we don't have very many subscribers, so if you'll please go over to Brighteon and find us and subscribe, because we're going to be putting everything up there from now on. Anything that we know is going to get the kibosh on YouTube, we'll put it over on Brighteon. We have other channels too, but Brighteon seems to be a really good platform.
It's a really good platform. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like it. So number 3 was Dr. Bartlett, again, because the lengths he went to actually meet us and sit the interview. He had to go to Starbucks because his internet was fried. Before coincidentally, no coinkydinks here.
Yeah.
I'm not sus. But that was a big deal. And he's just a lovely human being. My gosh. I can't wait to meet him in person. Number 4 was Kez Legend, my former nurse educator. She's an absolute pocket rocket, and I went to go and have a bioresonance scan with her back in November. So that was really awesome. She'd invited me back I think we had her on early in the year, and I finally got to see her in November. So that was quite an experience.
That was a great interview.
A great interview, and we'll get her back for sure.
Yeah.
And then number 5 was Lillian Walker for me, because our interview we did with her, I knew
the original interview, the
original interview we had with her on the cell activation patches. Was my first proper run through, basically introduction to the patches.
Yeah, because you weren't on the patches yet.
I was not on the patches when we had Lillian on. So, and she's a wealth of knowledge in her own right.
Oh, she's brilliant. Yeah, she's
brilliant. So anyway, that's my rundown of my top 5 of this year, and it was tricky to narrow down to top 5 because I had Dr. Cami in there at one point, and even I had Lillian,
and I had Kez.
I wanted to have your stepmom as well, Saskia, because that episode was really good with the
very informative. Very informative.
Yeah. So many good episodes. It was hard to narrow down to 5.
Yeah,
but we did it.
Yeah. Okay.
So what we covered this year? Oops.
Oh, sorry. Are we both doing that? Sorry. Yeah, so we covered not only products, but methods and programs. So
yes, we did.
So you want to read out our products, Annie?
Yeah, so we covered this year, products-wise, we covered the patches, grounding mattresses and air purifiers, cookware, EMF protection, colloidal silver, water filter units, the HydroShot and niacin, and niacin and their little friends.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the methods, Jody?
Yeah, and we covered the human design. We interviewed my friend Robin Wynn, who's an expert on human design, and we didn't really get to go. I wanted to have them back on because I really loved that episode, and they talked about how they are incorporating human design with essential oils, which we love. And I was going to go through that with her, but I didn't. And she lives in Maui, and I know she's been really busy with the whole Maui stuff. But I'd love to have them back on because I really didn't get. I've done my human design before, not through her, but through somebody else, and I just think that's a fascinating overlay of, of who you are and how you operate. She calls it the operating system, which is interesting because conscious language from Bob Stevens, he calls that an operating system, like how you program your life almost, the way you talk and the words you use, not only your internal dialogue as well as speaking.
Yes.
Yeah. So we consider those methods,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And then finally,
here we had the Love Your Liver program with Dr. Garrett Smith, which that was another episode we did. And you tried that, didn't you, Jody? You
tried and we'll talk about that. Yeah, Dr. Smith, that was also an amazing interview. I think at the time that we did it, that was my favorite interview. But then we had so many afterwards that were like so, powerful. It was kind of hard. But that was a great and very informative interview. So I highly recommend you watch that. So, all right. So let's just go over some of these one by one. We're not going to cover everything, but we wanted the sort of the highlights of the year. And we wanted to start off talking about niacin because last year we did a review of the products we did, and we highly recommended the niacin protocol. We were both on it, and we were at the beginning of our journey for niacin. And after being on it for a while, we both had very serious side effects, and we weren't sure where it was from. But I was doing niacin and just zeolite, and I don't know what CBD, which I do for pain, or used to do for pain and inflammation, and I had so many side effects come to the forefront. Things I had gotten rid of before, new things, very, very serious side effects that actually I ended up going to the hospital and being diagnosed with diverticulitis. And so that's why I did a survey, and because we wanted to survey the people in our community that were also on it because we were sharing it. And so we did that. And then we found out that there were 30 people in our community that also had the similar reactions. And so we did a whole show on it, showing the data, just kind of informing people about what we found out, because some people actually do well on this, but we didn't. And so we did
I'll just say, I don't think anyone did it well on the high doses. I really don't.
Yeah. Well, maybe they didn't. We just heard that they did, right?
Well, I don't know. I would be hard pressed to find. I think if we went through our chat or whatever and did a search, most people had issues when they were taking more than 2 grams a day.
Yeah. And so that's what we mean by high doses, that really high dose. And because the person that we were following, he recommended up to when you start going up, and then he wanted you to reach the 5 to 10 grams, not a day, but up to 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And so the people that were doing that, and I know somebody who was getting advice to do that, and he was doing 10 grams 3 times a day. He's a big guy. He got very seriously ill, and he still has not healed. And it's been terrible for him. So anyway, so we talk about all that on the show. We're not bad mouthing niacin. We think it's an amazing, it's a necessary.
We do. Yeah.
Yeah. It's necessary for
it's a key piece of the puzzle for our bodies. But at the moment, what we've come to find is our bodies have been too devolved, and there's too much toxins and too much stuff we need to rectify before our body can tolerate those kind of doses.
Exactly.
If that is even necessary, it would be one of my points.
If it's necessary.
But I do still think that niacin is a key piece.
It is. And it's in a lot of, it's in almost all the B complex vitamins, which I was taking and I really liked it. Also, the book, Niacin, The Real Story, they have some excellent protocols in that, and none of them go up to these crazy high doses. So, and that's a great book, because I've read it. An excellent book about all different kinds of things that niacin can heal. Yes. So definitely can heal you from a lot of things. But as Annie says, we have been devolved so much that our livers can't handle it. And so that's what we've discovered. So anyway,
I do miss the flush. I must admit, I did like the flush. It was really nice. It was a good feeling, and I'd feel cleaner after it and more alert. But yeah,
and I'll be doing flushes in the future for sure. You know, once I heal more, and I feel like I miss the flush because I would meditate during the flush, and I got amazing.
You used to get really crazy downloads too.
Yeah, so exactly.
Yeah, but the benefits did not weigh the risks.
Not for us. Not for us.
And for high doses. Yeah, because I will take niacin again in the future, but no, nothing. And I did, more than a gram. I think.
Yeah, I think I got up to 3 grams twice a day, and then I went to 3 grams once a day, and then I just slowly went to 2 grams, and then 1.5 grams. Because I was trying to figure out because it was like, oh my gosh, because it was my side effects. I just kept going down, so I weaned myself off of it, not knowing that that's what I was doing. Until I got to 500 milligrams, and I was still having the issue. So that's when and that's where I started 500 milligrams. So that's when I just stopped. And, a lot of my side effects started going away, but I didn't heal my side effects until later with another protocol that we'll talk about. All right. So next one, HydraShot. We won't spend a lot of time here, but we interviewed the founder of HydraShot. I've been promoting them through Budesonide Works for, almost 3 years, or maybe 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. And it is, it helps, what do you call it? I'm trying to think of the word. Nitric oxide, like it helps you produce nitric oxide quite quickly. And it's very quick acting, and it improves your energy and focus, and it immediately increases your blood oxygen levels. That's why so many people used it during COVID, and it really helped them immediately. And so, and it's a really great product. It works, but it is a bit pricey because it comes in a 12 pack. And if you drink one every day, which I was doing,
so was I.
Yeah, and it's like $36. And so, that becomes like almost over $100 a month if you do it every day. So, but it's a great product if that's what you want. And they've got tons of studies to prove the effectiveness on it and all that stuff. So we like that.
Yeah, we did. I liked on the HydraShot. I'd find an improvement in my mental clarity and my energy levels, and I felt better. Yeah, I think I choose to remember how long I did the HydraShot for, maybe 2 or 3 months. It was very pricey for you to get it, rather for me to get you to ship it over.
They didn't ship it to Australia.
No, and a couple of times customs busted into the box, and a can or two had been opened and emptied. It was unfortunate. So
So
good product, pricey.
Good product, and I know it helps some of your friends too, right? Didn't you? Yeah.
It really they really enjoyed it.
And it helped. A lot of people said it helped lower their blood pressure. Like within a month or two, they could get off their BP meds. So all right, next one, colloidal silver. To me, this is one of the things you're not supposed to talk about on YouTube. So hopefully it won't take us off for this.
We'll just call it CS.
Yeah, CS. So CS. So to me, I've been using it forever because my dad was the first person in Texas to manufacture and sell it here. And so I've been known about it and experienced it for, like 30 years. And it, to me, it's like a first aid kit in a bottle. It's amazing all the things that it can do. So it really works on wounds, bites, any kind of skin issue, rash, you name it.
Burns.
Burns, yeah. Burns really good for burns.
I had a couple of nasty burns this year, and I used CS4, and it was amazing.
Well, I burned. Remember when I burned my whole hand? Because I grabbed this handle of a skillet, and it was over the burner, and I didn't know it, and it was like metal, and I grabbed it with my hand, and the whole thing burned. I could feel it sizzle. I was like, ah! And I literally just dropped everything, turned the burner off, and ran upstairs and got my colloidal silver and just started dousing it on there because it started blistering immediately, and by the next day it was
nasty,
totally gone. The next day there was no sign of it.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it works so quickly on burns if you can get to it right away. And that's why you always, to me, you got to have one in your bathroom, one in your kitchen.
Yep.
And I
one in your
travel
bag
with
or
it.
something. Yeah.
Travel with it all the time. I have a travel spray. And by the way, you can find all these products. To get all these products, you can go to our link tree at the end. We'll show you, and they're all listed. Links to where you can find them. It works on bacteria, fungus, parasites, taken orally or like MRSA. It can completely get rid of that. I've seen it because I know somebody who had it and it went away really quickly. It's great for animals. You can put it in their drinking water if they've got any kind of issues, like a yeast infection or any kind of bacterial thing going on.
You've been using that for Sassy a lot, actually.
Yeah, any kind of stomach thing going on, that kind of stuff, because it just no single cell organism can live in the presence of silver. It suffocates them. So, and include, and then also some really handy uses too is to spray on food before cooking. Like if you want to spray on meats, if there's any like parasites or any kind of bacteria, whatever, it just gets rid of it. And so you can spray it on the, like say you're cooking a steak, spray it on the top, spray it on the bottom. And then also it's great for avocados. If you slice an avocado and you're only going to use half, usually you wrap it up, the seed part, the one that has a seed in it. You can spray colloidal silver on it and put it in a bag, and it'll stay fresh. It won't brown. And if it does, is this a tiny bit, so it won't brown. And you can even spray it, like if you make guacamole, spray it on the top.
Oh,
it won't
great
brown.
idea.
It won't brown.
Great idea.
Yeah. And you can spray it on your cutting boards. Like if you have a wooden cutting board, it totally gets rid of anything on your cutting board. So there's so many uses for it. It's amazing. And nail salons, you could, if you're worried about getting any kind of infection, if you just spray your hands with colloidal silver afterwards and you're good to go. I spray it on Band-Aids, and any kind of skin thing, wound, whatever.
Apparently there was some, one of my practitioners I saw was talking about how CS they tried to source a hand sanitizer which had CS in it, and I was like, "Ooh, that would have been good." But I mean, technically, you could just spray it, and that would be your hand sanitizer. I would
exactly.
Thought, so.
And tell us how you're using it right now, Annie.
Right now, I'm using it in a nebulizer, and that's helping my sinuses. When I went and saw Kes Legend at the bioresonance scan, she said something about the presence of black mold fungus, which is not good stuff. So she said, "Yep, start nebulizing colloidal silver and just having some with the main meal every day.
You just do it straight, no dilution.
Yeah, no dilution whatsoever. No.
Yeah, and I've nebulized it many times, and it really helps.
Yeah, breathing so much better.
Yeah,
because of it. Yeah,
absolutely. Excellent. Yeah.
And
then, my favorite.
My favorite.
Yeah.
The
patches.
Okay. Well, we have to be careful with what we say. Do we?
No, we don't. Well, as of January 1st, we don't. So, supposedly, but we can just call them, wearable light technology patches. But some of them, they activate the copper peptides that activate your stem cells.
Yeah.
So your own stem cells to go to work and play triage anywhere in your body.
How long have you been on them for now?
I've been on them for 6 months. 6 months, and just tremendous difference in my health and longevity and age, reverse aging.
Yes,
totally.
Well, your hair's going back to its original color now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, little by little. Like I used to have complete white here on my temples, and theirs is mostly dark now.
Well,
isn't that wild? And I can see that. I can see the dark and then the white behind it. So it's kind of funny. So I'm like, wow, and my wrinkles like totally gotten better. People think I'm gotten work done. So that's kind of funny. And
she hasn't, by the way.
No, I have not. Not yet. So I mean, I did get an eye surgery because I got a correction thing. God, I don't know,
but you didn't have that this year. You didn't have that this year.
It was 8 years ago.
No work this year.
Yeah. No. I don't get injections. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't believe in that stuff.
Yeah.
I've never gotten Botox. That's literally putting poison in your body. So I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
So now who knows in the future? I don't know. So I know a good plastic surgeon, though, if I do decide to do anything. So anyway, yeah, so it doesn't interact with any drugs or any kind of issues. There's no contraindications except for people who are on chemo for cancer therapy, but just their chemo days. People who are taking what do you call it? The anti-rejection drugs for organ transplants.
Yeah, so anyone who has had an organ transplant.
Yeah. And he's on those drugs because it will literally detox that out of your body. So same thing with chemo. So that's why they don't want you to do it on the chemo days, because the chemo would not be effective.
Yep.
So
and also pregnant women and breastfeeding.
Pregnant women. Yeah, pregnant and lactating women, only because they have not done trials on that. Now there are a lot of those people that are on the patches that have success stories, but they do not recommend it because they have not done the case studies.
Not officially recommended.
Because everything they do has case studies and
experiment at your own risk
and trials and all that stuff. They have all that proof. So, but it helps with a multitude of things. But the things that we can say that it helps with is pain, inflammation, reverse aging, sleep, anxiety, and much, much more. And it really aids in detoxing the body. The X39 does, the X49 does, the glutathione, and there's many patches, and we've done shows on that. And we'll get into something else about the patches a little later, a little exciting announcement.
Now, I just want to say, because I've been seeing specialists and doctors and all that sort of stuff throughout the year, and part of my health journey, as some of you who have been watching us for a while would know. And now back in May, I went and saw a specialist about my dysautonomia, or POTS, or whatever you want to call it. And his big advice, he was the first doctor out of the specialist out of the ranks that I saw this year, and his big regimen or plan for me was to take some dexamphetamine to pep me up in the morning so that I could get moving, and then something to an old class antidepressant to get me to sleep at night. And that was his big plan. And I was like, how about no? And I had no intention of doing any of that whatsoever. But I at the time I was using the HydroShot and the B3 bands, which I am back to using the end of this year. I've been inconsistent, but at the time I thought, well, I've got things in my arsenal that I know that I can apply to help with my energy levels and my sleep, and I'll go and do them. Thank you very much. And so I did. And then and that was in May. And I started the patches in July. So I was doing that from that window. And then when I found the patches, so, okay, I don't have any pain. I don't have any more chronic fatigue, and I don't have any more issues sleeping.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. And I've since, and so to close out the year, I had to go and see a neurologist and a cardiologist, and both of them were like, nothing really to see here. So, which is a big deal. Yeah.
That's a really big deal. Yeah. And to me, it has helped so much with my pain and inflammation, which was terrible since August of 2021 when I got very ill, shall we say. And, just amazing. And I have very severe arthritis in my left hip from injuries and accidents. And it is like, 80% better.
You're walking better and everything.
Yep. I'm walking better. The pain and inflammation is so much better. Yeah. And I do believe it is not solely to do with the patches. Most of it is, but I have been eating right and on a kind of a strict eating regimen, which we'll talk about at the end. But that has helped too with my pain and inflammation. No sugar really is a big deal.
Yes,
but I had already drastically improved, and it's just those two together. Which David Schmidt, who's the founder and inventor of LifeWave, he recommends not getting off sugar and having a very healthy diet and exercising. So he really recommends that the patches will be at the most effective if you can do that.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm trying to do. And it has made an enormous difference for me. And I just can't believe how much better I feel. It's just, wow.
Yeah. So other than the patches, for me in July to now, I have not I've not incorporated anything. else.
Yeah. And I was on, I think a B complex, and I was on some zeolite.
Yeah.
I think that was all I was doing. In addition to the patches, that was the only two things I was doing.
Yeah.
And I still was taking CBD gummies and Advil every
These
once in a
replaced
while.
my pain management,
Yeah.
so this was great because I couldn't take any
Yeah.
more.
When I first started, I was doing that. I'm not doing them now. I'm not doing any of that now. So I'm not doing my Advil, which I was doing probably a few times a week, and I was doing the CBD gummies twice a day and then once a day. Now neither one of those.
Yeah,
so
that's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Huge.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So
we love the patches. In case you haven't noticed,
patches.
we've done a lot of episodes on them. We'll go into other things that we've got about the patches that you can find later.
Exactly. All right. Conscious language. You take it away, Annie.
Bob. Well, so sadly we lost him in. He parted this dimension in. It was Thanksgiving weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and which was it was so sad, but we are both so thankful that we got to be in his presence in North Carolina in August for his last class that he taught, and meeting Bob and playing with his life's work, conscious language and sacred body language, has absolutely changed my life, and I know it has for you too, Jody.
And just being in his presence, and also being facilitated by. We both personally had a one-on-one Zoom with him, which was transformative, and then we got facilitated by him in person, which is wow. I mean, that is like, especially with witnesses. I mean, it is like, and he doesn't let your small self, he says, get away with shit.
Nope.
And it was.
He wouldn't let us off the hook. He would not let us off the hook.
And I mean, he was like
ruthless,
mean about it, like ruthless. Yeah. And you were like, whoa. And it's just so tragic that we're never going to experience that again.
Well, I'm thankful that we did.
Yes.
I'm thankful that we did in the first place. It was we faced a lot of opposition, and getting to be there in August. I went up to the hospital, and Jody had a whole bunch of other stuff happen, and it was tough. But we are so glad that we pushed through when we got there.
So glad. But also, so he was quite ill when we met him, and we didn't know. We knew that he had cancer.
I sensed something was up. Something was up. I didn't know he had cancer, but I sensed.
Well, we knew he had cancer before, and he had healed it. He was in remission, right?
Yes.
It's colon cancer, and we
knew. No. From 20 years ago, we knew about that, but I didn't.
We
didn't know about his.
No, we didn't know about his recent one. Yeah, we knew it. We knew because he and his wife both they had black mold in their home, and they didn't know. And she got cancer, and she ended up passing 20 years ago. And then he was very, very sick, and they couldn't figure out what it was. He couldn't walk. I mean, and he healed himself through conscious language. And then it came back. We don't know how long ago, but we know that he was targeted because his stuff is so powerful. We tried to warn him, but we couldn't get in touch with him. And we tried to help him with the patches and some other stuff, but and so we couldn't. It was hard to get to him after a certain point because we were in direct communication with him. I was texting him, Annie was messaging him, but then it got to where we couldn't communicate with him anymore, and it was just really tragic. And we know also when Life Force Tank Rao. They were on our show, and Tank interviewed him. That's the last interview that got put on the Life Force Network. And then, and they've always, Tank and Melissa always said, that's our unhackable network, which they had all these safety mechanisms in place. Yeah. And right after Bob's interview went live, their whole network went down, and it literally has not come back up. Now,
I haven't seen that interview. I wanted to see that interview.
It's not up. It got taken down, and like they lost like or years worth of stuff, and it's so weird. And they still have a few things up, but it's like it's just been abandoned. And I haven't talked to them, so I don't know if they're starting over somewhere else, but it's not a coincidence that that happened after they interviewed Bob.
No, none whatsoever.
Yeah.
But so what we learned from Bob basically is what we speak manifests, internally and what comes out of our mouths. We are, by our words we shall be justified, and by our words we shall be condemned. And he reminded us of how powerful we are as co-creators of our reality. So,
yes.
So transcending the right and wrong of things is really challenging. I'll put it that way, because it's not. And he would talk about how our consciousness, our language is like an operating system, and computers. And so we have this malware of can't, shouldn't, wouldn't, couldn't, this kind of language that self-sabotages us. And so it's about connecting with our higher selves, where we're not afraid of things, where we choose to press on and walk in what we were put here for, in terms of our blueprints and stuff. So
exactly.
So I miss Bob every day, and I require his his mentorship from beyond, which I believe I'm getting. So
yeah, I believe you are too. And just FYI, so both Annie and I got certified as an instructor for conscious language and basically all of his work, but we didn't really learn all of it yet, because there's so much to learn, because we hadn't been through all of his classes, because we really just got introduced to him less than a year ago. So, and he has so much work, and he's been doing this for decades, which is so weird that we had never heard of him before. That's weird. But so we've been certified, so we can do our own courses for this. We can create our own courses. And by the way, just FYI, Mastery Systems, the company, is being shut down completely, which was so tragic when I heard this. But it's been shut down. It's for a reason. And then I believe his daughter is going to create a new thing where people can have access to Bob's work again.
Yeah. So, at the moment, there's a YouTube channel, Conscious Language Creations. I just remember.
That's what it's called. That's what she's going to call it.
That's what it's called. That there's a YouTube channel if you want to go and subscribe to that. And they will be announcing and launching in the new year, I believe. So thankfully, that's so people can still have access to his life's work. Because
it's important. And this is really important in the future to study this stuff. And his work, the recordings of his work, is just, it's phenomenal what you'll learn.
Oh, so many times I've listened to hours and hours and hours and hours of Bob's work. I was helping them with some projects before going to North Carolina, and I spent at least 100 hours listening to Bob. And each time I'd listen to one, and I'd listen to it over again, because it's speaking consciously is not so much about. It's engaging your consciousness, but it's actually not about what you know in your grey matter and what you remember by rote. It's actually about the heart coherence and remembering who we are through that. So it's engaging a different remembrance, really, and a different operating system, which is heart based as opposed to head based. So I did listen to so many, and I do still require to listen to them over and over and over again, because every time it was like I'd heard it for the first time.
Yeah. And he's also so absolutely hilarious. He puts humor into everything, and it's always so necessary, the humor. And he was so smart and so quick, because he would basically judge you on everything that you were saying, because he could assess. It was like this scanning ability. I remember when I was sitting in my chair, and in the hot seat, he called it, and there was something I choose to remember in my facilitation, and he was trying to get me angry, because he said, if you get someone angry, you can actually save their life, whereas I was sitting there being all passive and apathetic, and so he got me angry by talking to my dog. My dog, and he got me angry about that, because I couldn't get angry for myself. He is a
a genius. His genius lives on and in us, and
he is up at the level that is, I mean, I've never met anybody at his level before in person, and phenomenal. And when he was working with you, and I think you took it lightly or were laughing at somebody, and then people in the audience laughed, and then he just got really angry and he goes, "Stop it, I'm saving a life here."
Yeah.
And he was.
Yeah, no, he did. That's right. He turned and he said, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He said, pay attention. Pay attention. I'm saving a life.
I'm saving a life. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was talking about Annie's. Yeah. And what he did with her and what happened to her during those, several days we were there was pretty mind blowing.
Yeah. Very transformative, extremely transformative. Yeah. Forever thankful that we came across Bob.
Yeah. Yeah. We love you, Bob.
We love you, Bob.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Dr. Garrett Smith and his Love Your Liver program. I mean, we interviewed him on his findings and all the stuff that he's been doing with vitamin A toxicity and liver. And I thought that was one of our better interviews. He's so smart and he has so many great qualifications. He's a naturopath and a bunch of other things I can't remember. Yeah. And he does tons and tons of research about this stuff, and his discoveries are quite interesting. He's the only one really talking about this, and so I really like his no nonsense approach. Some people think he's kind of rude, but he's not. He really cares about what he's doing, and he wants to help people, and he wants to awaken people to things that are happening to your liver. And his program is very affordable. The Love Your Liver. If you just sign up for the program online. And we have links to that as well. I think it's $99 for a year, and you can access his program online. And you can also ask him questions. So he is accessible. Now,
he has a Facebook group.
Yeah. But in the program, you can message him, and he'll message you back. Yeah. And also, if you want, you can go to the higher level and work one-on-one with him, and you can get blood work done, and I think a hair analysis. Hair analysis, and send him the results, and then he can go over that, and he can prescribe, a specific customized plan for you. You have to pay more money, but people who have done that have talked about how amazing their experience with that is, and how much they've healed stuff that they've had for decades. Yeah. And he works with people all across the world. Yeah. So we really like
over Zoom. Yeah. He sees people on Zoom.
Yeah. And we really like it. He has a live stream every, I think, Friday or something like that. And those live streams are amazing. Yeah. So on his YouTube channel, so you can go listen to that. Yeah. And then, so I'm in the Love Your Liver program, and I've, read through most of it. And I just want to put a little cons on here. It's a bit disorganized. It's kind of like a stream of consciousness out there. So it's for some people who don't think like that, it's not like a real course. I'm a course developer, so it's not like a real course. It's like
not ordered.
It's like a big, huge blog that has categories. So it's a bit text heavy and kind of hard to digest. No pun intended. You kind of have to really work through it yourself and figure out stuff on your own and kind of do your own thing and make lists and all this kind of stuff. There's no like PDFs or anything like that. So it can be a little bit hard to follow for people who, need hand holding. And so it isn't no hand holding. So if you do that, you'll have to work with him in person. And the program isn't, in my opinion, is not for everybody. I did try it for about 6 weeks, and I felt worse, and I was bloated. And, a lot of people lose weight on this. I know Kelsey was so successful on this. And she lost a bunch of weight, and her skin cleared up. She looks 10 years younger. She had amazing success with this protocol. And Cynthia Sharp, our friend Cynthia Sharp, she's had success with it. She's actually gained weight, though. She hasn't lost weight. And she does, that's one of her struggles. And so, but she's really liking it. She dove in head first, and she's been doing everything. But she likes it. And several people in our chat have been doing it. I know, AG, our friend AG, he's had tremendous success working with Dr. Smith. So it didn't work for me, but I'm weird. Like, I'm not like everybody. But I found a program.
You're a freak?
Yeah, I am. I found a program that does work for me that I'm on right now. And it's just made an enormous difference. I think I've been on it for 7 weeks, and we'll cover it next year. But it is, wow.
Now with Garrett Smith, there was not a lot of there was things that he said that did not resonate with me.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it. I do believe in what he was saying in terms of toxing, the taxing of the liver and how that everyone's livers are really overtaxed. I do agree with very much so.
Yes.
And I think his approach is an interesting one. The avoiding fruits and vegetables of high colors and all that sort of stuff, that did not resonate with me. Nor did the not using essential oils. I thought, I mean, I know how people can use essential oils in copious amounts, and if their liver's taxed, then that's probably going to worsen it. But the rate at which I use my essential oils, I'm like, it sounds too myopic, where it's it's one or the other, and it's like, where's the shade, where's the
exactly
the varying degrees,
right. And I will say,
so he doesn't cover that.
And I will say, on the program I'm on now, I am taking what I learned from Dr. Smith, and I have this other program by this woman named Lori Rock, who's brilliant, and so I'm on her program, but I've kind of done a little, like, I'm sort of like
overlap.
The fruits and vegetables that Garrett recommends, I'm leaning toward those. So I'm doing like an overlay of what he's doing, but stuff that she says not to do at all that's on Garrett's, I'm not doing. So, but I am trying to like kind of a flavor of Dr. Smith's, of the go-to. Like when I was eating fruit, it was like the fruits he recommends, apples, like the white flesh, the white interior, that kind of stuff. So I was trying to do that, and I was trying to stay away from the greens and stuff that vibrant greens, even though I don't know if I agree with that or not, but I was a carnivore and I loved being on carnivore. So his stuff is very similar to carnivore, but so is the program that I'm on, just with some additional stuff. So anyway, but anyway, we definitely, a thumbs up. It didn't completely work for me, but I love his research, and we have discovered some other things with our friend Adrienne, which we'll be doing shows about, and we'll talk about that later. She has discovered, I should say, that his research is literally a
piece of the puzzle,
and it goes way deeper than that. And there's a cause. And it has to do with the aldehydes and stuff like that. So it may not be vitamin A. Like he's gotten to the sort of the symptom, and other things. Now, I don't know. I'm just, taking it from her, but we'll go into that in detail, what she's discovered and what we're digging into, which is just absolutely astounding. And we're super excited about it. So, and, anyway, so enough said about that. So, okay. But we really like Dr. Smith. Really like him a lot. And okay. So Annie, take it away.
Okay, so we also have been working with my wellness brothers. So we've had Dr. Rubin and Dr. Roman on our show a few times. Dr. Rubin covered the importance of sleep and introduced us to grounding mattresses that they've got, which is absolutely something on my list of things I want to get in the future, woven with silver and whatnot. And we've also had Dr. Rubin on talking about purifying air, and we had, and that's really important. And so that's also another thing on my list. So their pillars of wellness is very much similar to ours in how we approach things. We love working with them.
And they've got just hearts of gold.
They do.
These guys coming from traditional medicine. They're all doctors of pharmacology, and they left.
They're all pharmacists.
They left the criminal industry, and they're now doing more natural and really just helping you upgrade everything in your life, kind of the elements around you to upgrade your environment, because you have to go there first, right? Your air, your water, what you eat, how you
scale it all the way back. What's the most common exposure, most frequent exposure that you're having, and that you'll find that they impact your health. So so we love having them on as well.
And we'll have them on again next year. You know, we like to interview them as much as possible. We haven't had them on, and I think the cooking show was the last show we had, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and Dr. Nathan is the one on the left. So we haven't met him yet. Yeah, we haven't met him yet. So hopefully we'll meet him.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's all the ones that we decided to cover for now. Just highlighted the ones that we wanted to talk about. So now we wanted to tell everybody what our current regimens are. So for me, I'm on the patches, and I'll talk about which ones I'm on the patches. I'm doing a healthy eating program. I take Zeolite off and on. I haven't taken it in weeks, but I'll probably take it again. But I was informed by the person in the program I'm on. She said, do not take anything else. And she knows on the patch. She said, you can take that, but don't take anything else, because I want you to heal your whole body, your brain, your gut, your liver, your pancreas, all through nutrition, which I think is great. So anyway, and then so I'm on no supplements and no pharma.
That's huge, considering our whole journey and stuff, and all the things we've tried.
Oh my gosh, just totally. Right now I'm sure I'll take some supplements in the future, but my focus now is like getting me back to like homeostasis without having to take all this crap. Right.
Yes.
Now, granted, if I get sick or if something happens and I'm whatever, obviously I'll take a protocol or whatever. And, and I have all my little emergency things that I can do. And so many people are sick around me right now, but I am doing my iodine nasal spray. When anybody gets sick, I'm like doing that. And that just prevents almost me getting anything.
Yep.
So that really helps. But the patches that I'm on right now, every day I take X39, X49 Eon daily, and I usually put it on my lower back or on my hip where I'm having the issues, and that has helped tremendously. And I take Aloe Vita at night. It helps my skin, and it also helps with sleep. I take carnosine, glutathione about every other day. I'm not regular on taking those right now, but if I was having a detox issue, I'd probably take glutathione every day. And I just forget to do carnosine, and I do that at night, but that helps with, I have some stuff going on with my teeth. And if I just put it literally like right, where I'm I have a cracked tooth, and I can put it right there, and the pain is like gone in the morning. It's so wild how it happens. So I do that at night, usually on my jaw, and it helps with jaw clenching, which by the way has gone completely away, FYI. Awesome. And so has my tinnitus is back to like maybe 20%, because when I went to Denver, it like went back up, way back up. Yeah. So that's helped. And then I do Silent Night occasionally for sleep. And if I'm not doing Aloe Vita, and sometimes together if I'm really having a hard time sleeping, which is not very often. And then I'll do the Energy Enhancer, which is the Energy One. I'll do that as needed, probably 2 or 3 times a week, I'd say. Yeah. And then, like I said, I'm on this healthy eating program, and it's really an educational program, and a lot of stuff I know, but the way she designed it and put it together, it's like slow changes, and it's just so well designed. And so right now I'm eating meats, eggs, and veggies. I'm off all sugar of any kind right now because I'm in the fat burning mode. That's not a forever thing. And I'm also taking electrolytes. Forgot to say that, because it's super important when you're eating like this to take electrolytes. And I noticed when I didn't take them, I didn't feel good. So when I wake up in the middle of the night, with some weird issues. So no sugar of any kind, and including artificial sweeteners or anything like that, and no alcohol. Yep. I'm also doing no dairy and no caffeine. So yeah, so that's hard. Right now I'm at that point. So that doesn't mean forever. It just means right now. And I noticed since I've been doing the patches and this, my inflammation is almost completely gone from my body. And I have better range of motion. Like, after I got so sick, I couldn't even bend down and touch the floor. It was like so painful for like 2 years. Like, it was awful. Yeah. And it was just, and every day I'd be like, oh my God, am I ever going to feel normal? And, I had the pain in my pelvis, and it was just like feeling like I had been nailed to a wall every day, excruciating pain. And that's all gone. And then it's really like, I mean, it's so weird to not be in pain every day, to wake up and go, I'm not hurting, like my hip a little bit, but that's it. And it's like, what, And I mean, it's just so exciting. And so I feel like those two things together is like, wow, this is just so powerful.
So
and
good.
So good. So that's mine.
That's so good. I'm so glad, Jody, because we've both had our health struggles, and for to finally find something where we're really moving the needle is it's exciting. Feels like we've scaled a mountain. For all the crap that we've been through. So for me, I'm on the patches. So I'm on X39, X49, and I'm on glutathione daily. In fact, I just ran out yesterday, so I'm for a little while I won't be on it. So those were what I was doing during the day. At nighttime, I was doing carnosine and Aeon, just same on each cheek. And I was doing energy enhancer every day for the most part, but I've run low, so I need to order some more. So at the moment, I'm only doing them when I absolutely have to adult, which isn't so much lately, which is good.
Adult.
Like show up to functions and things, put on paste a smile on your face. So energy enhancer and silent night as needed, I wear those, but otherwise it's just those 5 patches every day. I'm only on 1 medication. At the beginning of the year I started on 2, so I started on 2 medications for my heart. Now I'm only on 1, and I'm hoping to nip that in the buds very soon. I'm also having weekly infusions, and that's an electrolyte infusion, so nothing really exciting in that. I'm on no supplements other than nebulizing the colloidal silver. That's not a supplement, so it's just the only other thing I'm doing. And I'm consuming less alcohol, and I see that being staying at a 0 in the very near future. So I think I'm getting ready to tackle sugar as well. So, but that's for the moment this year anyway. I've lost weight, and I really do think that that's been because of the patches, the X49, the Aeon particularly. I've lost a lot of weight in water and inflammation, so I'm not as sore anymore. I'm not sore anymore at all. So for me, at the beginning of the year, to have I was taking CBD, and I had my CBD supply, and then they pulled the supply. I was like, what am I going to do? But I'd started the patches, and I haven't needed them, so it's been great.
Yeah, and for me not to be on CBD, because I was on 2 gummies a day, one in the morning and one in the evening, and I was taking Advil like every other day for a long time. And then I know, and then I got to 1 CBD gummy and Advil every other day, or maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Now it's none. And since I just went, you know what, I'm just getting off all of them. And this was a few weeks ago. The next day I was like, wait, what? I'm not hurting. Like, what? I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome, And so it's so good, it's so good to feel that way where you don't need it. Now, occasionally if I like really hurting, have to go somewhere, I'll probably take something, but right now I don't have to do that. And I worked like a dog this week getting my house ready for guests. And I thought, tomorrow I'm going to have to take something.
No. Well, the Ice Wave, we both haven't got Ice Wave in there, but they're also in there as needed.
Oh, that's as needed. Yeah, I forgot about that. And I did put Ice Wave on when I went to a function because I was working so hard, and I just put it on my back, and I forgot when I got home. I was like, I didn't hurt the rest of the night. So, so Ice Wave is amazing. Yeah, I did forget to do that. So,
and I've used that recently too. So,
so good. And there was something I was going to tell. Oh, yeah. So I wanted to talk about sugar. So sugar is terrible for you. I mean, added sugar, and which is in almost everything, that if you go to a restaurant, you're probably gonna have sugar in your food or dressing or soup or whatever. And it's just amazing how they disguise it and all this stuff. But I want to say that detoxing from sugar is almost like, as my coach says, it's almost like detoxing from heroin.
Yeah.
It's hard. Now I wasn't eating tons of sugar, but I would go through times where I was, and so and just kind of knowing how toxic it is. And I recommend that movie, That Sugar Film, which is from 2014. It's made in Australia.
Yep.
It'll tell you how the food industry and the sugar industry is so deceitful, and how they target kids so that they can get them on sugar as young as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's awful.
It really props up all the other industries, the dental industry, the medical industry.
Yeah, pharma, so that they'll be diabetic and they can sell the diabetic medication. And weight, and the weight stuff, weight loss stuff, and all that stuff. But it's and you also have to realize one of the reasons why people feel so good when they get off sugar is because they're not feeding the harmful little buggers that are inside of you. That's parasites, fungus, whatever that stuff is.
Candida.
They feed on sugar. Number one thing they feed on. And so when you get rid of all sugar for a certain amount of time, guess what? They leave. And then I also discovered in that film how harmful sugar is to your liver, which I did not know.
No.
It created a fatty liver in a super healthy, normal weight guy. In 60 days, he had a fatty liver. 60 days of eating the typical amount that an Australian, grams of sugar an Australian ate per day, which is probably the same as an American. And he went from being healthy liver to fatty liver in 60 days. And so it completely destroys your liver. Not destroys it. It harms it. And then it can't function and it can't do its function, right? So it's compromised. Same thing with the pancreas. So they're constantly having to deal with the sugar when it's not their job, right? Yep. We're not made to eat this kind of sugar.
No.
And we're made to eat like a piece of fruit and not like all this stuff. All these
chew on a steak.
Stuff. Yeah. I mean, granted, every once in a while, yeah, fine. But it's toxins. It's toxic. So, and when I saw that, I thought maybe that's what's causing the toxic liver and to begin with, is the sugar. And so once you stop, both of your organs, the liver and pancreas, go, oh, wait a minute, I can actually do my job now.
Oh, and your gallbladder gets a rest. How many people have their gallbladder removed,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think sugar is behind a lot of stuff. And because we consume so much of it, and it's in so many things.
Yeah. Even in savory.
Yeah, exactly. When you look at it, and there's a PDF that my coach gave me called 201 Names for Sugar, which is what they name sugar and what it in ingredients and stuff. And you think it's no big deal, like coconut palm sugar. We thought that was good. No, it's not. It's just sugar. I mean, it might not be as harmful as cane sugar. Or, what is it? High fructose corn syrup, which is terrible for you. But it's still sugar. It's still going to spike your insulin, right?
Yeah.
I mean, your blood sugar and everything. So I just wanted to say that because I think it's important that all of us look at our sugar intake and possibly start decreasing it, which is what I did little by little by little.
Yeah.
Once
people start reading the back of packets and things and understanding what everything means, it causes you to do a U-turn really quick.
Yeah, and that like the typical grams of sugar that a person consumed in that movie, an Australian, was 42 grams. Okay. Yeah. Some things that you look on the label for, one serving is like 24 grams of sugar. And you're like, that's more than half of what a normal person consumes in a day for one like tablespoon or two, whatever it is. And you're like, what the hell? And then some things like that, some of those energy drinks, like they're like 42 grams. They're like already
the biggest culprits.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. For people who consume
and like the Starbucks Frappuccinos and the Starbucks things in the store. I mean, when you start looking at the sugar grams, you're just absolutely horrified,
Yeah.
So that's my soapbox about sugar.
Well done. It needed to be said.
Yeah.
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So looking toward the future, because we didn't try everything from the people that we interviewed, right? And so we couldn't recommend them or not recommend them as far as products go. So or protocols or whatever. So the top 5 that I am most excited about trying myself, the number one thing is my Wellness Brothers grounding mattress. The only reason I haven't is because I can't afford it yet, but I will. How do we say that in conscious language?
I choose to remember. My God funds my projects, or
oh yeah, my God funds my projects. I like that.
or perfect, or I have my perfect or my perfect abundance or something.
Yes, something like that. Yeah,
yeah.
Because I'm getting one of those this year.
2024, you mean? Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
not
2024.
2023.
Yes, yeah, it'd be kind of hard. Yeah, in 2024, and then Lifeway just announced that they're going to be coming out with some new products next year, and I believe the first ones that are going to come out are electrolytes or salts. That's what they call them. I think Lifeway salts, and which we know how important that is. And so I'm really looking forward to trying that. They're coming out with salts and amino acids. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they are. I'm assuming they're going to be super high quality, and I kind of can't wait to try them because I'm on a certain electrolytes that I really like now. And so I'm hoping they're going to be just as good, and then I can just switch to them. So I'm very excited about that. And then the third one is what we're calling the NAC protocol that we will be covering in a show coming up. And I don't want to be too cryptic about it, but it's a very simple protocol that could help most people heal from whatever is any kind of serious thing that's going on with them. Period. Yeah. So it's very simple protocol. And I mean, not that I'm noticing those things, but we're all affected by this thing that we've discovered. And so it'll be really interesting to see what happens with both me and Annie once we try this.
Absolutely.
So we'll let you know.
I did. I wanted to give it till the end of the year before incorporating anything else because of how much I'm loving the benefits of these patches right now.
Yeah.
So, exactly. And now that I've seen all these doctors and specialists, and they're all like, "Yep, hey,
they're confirming your success."
They are. So I'm like, "This is great, awesome."
Yeah,
it's working.
It's working. Yeah. And then number 4 is my Wellness Brothers cookware. On the cookware show we did, that cookware just looks amazing. And I cannot wait to get it and try it because I love to cook. And just knowing how you don't have to use oil or water, and then it keeps all the nutrients of the food, and everything is like moist, and it cooks faster, and even the juicer, which I would love to get as well. I mean, all of this. I mean, I was just like, when we did that show, I was like, I want that stuff right now. So I can't wait to get that stuff. I'll probably get that before I get the grounding mattress because I'm assuming it's less expensive. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then number 5 is at the LifeWave convention that I attended in October. They announced there is a new device coming out that is a light frequency device that reverse ages you. And there was a person on stage that talked about a testimonial that was quite phenomenal.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And remember he said, like, he wasn't supposed to say what he said because they hadn't really announced it yet, but
no, that's right.
He used it, and like, he couldn't walk, like, and then he could walk, so it was like, yeah, what, right. And so they were very cryptic about it, but,
whatever that is going to be, I'm sure it'll be epic.
Yeah. And we will be able to provide that to you. And so as soon as we find out about it, we'll let you guys know. But he did say when they were doing experiments, this is really interesting. They were doing experiments and on people, and he had gotten these codes, frequency codes, actually from the Bible, I believe. No, I'm sorry, in the Bible, and then also he was studying creatures that have very high longevity.
Yes.
And one was this specific ant, I forgot the ant, that has a parasite on it. And they have this symbiotic relationship where they're keeping each other alive, and they literally don't age. And they can live an extremely long period of time. And so he found out what that compound was that they were exchanging, and wrote a code, frequency code on it to sort of mimic it. And then he also studied lobsters, and lobsters have very long lives. And the only reason they die usually is because they get captured or killed. Right. And so he studied, what is going on in their body. Right. And so he used that to create these codes. And then he used it with this device on, I guess, a test bed of people. Right. And so he said, when I used it, it reversed aged this person, I believe, 10 years in 3 minutes. And it was too aggressive.
Yes.
And he was like, whoa. And because it took a lot out of the body, and it took, I think, a lot of minerals out of the body and stuff like that. I don't think it harmed them, but that's too fast. Right.
Yes.
And so we realized that those creatures, their blood is copper based. And our blood is iron
based.
And so
which
he said,
oxidizes and corrodes, just by the way.
I know. And so he goes, oh, I got to go back to the drawing board and I got to recreate this based on our iron blood, our iron-based blood. And what's so funny is because I call him Iron Man, because he's like Tony Stark. And every time he's interviewed, he has all his Iron Man like action figures and masks and stuff behind him.
Yep.
And
powerful paraphernalia.
Yeah, and he even got an award at the convention. His wife gave him an award, humanitarian award, and it was the Infinity Gauntlet that Iron Man used to save the world, not the one that Thanos used, but the Iron Man one. And he has a lot of really amazing inventions that he's talked about that aren't something that we can provide you. I mean, we'll be able to tell you what they are, but he's trying to save us all with his inventions. And he even said, we have to figure out how to survive these times.
Well, he's really just setting up a parallel economy of like tech, of internet connections, of,
and he was creating a whole network.
Rescue
and drones and rescues. And he's setting up a whole communication network that will be using beneficial frequencies instead of the ones that harm us, like 5G.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
And I don't know when that's probably far in the future. I don't know, but wow. This guy is,
not from here.
He's not
from here.
He's not from here.
It's very exciting. Well, so I too have number one, the grounding mattress, because I bought a grounding sheet during, I think it was earlier this year. And it's not the type of material that you really want to be laying on, especially if you're kind of like a hot sleeper or just in summer. So I was like, when Dr. Rubin talked us through their grounding mattress, I was like, oh my word, that is top of my list. And it is. I've got a list on my wall of things that I'm yet to manifest. One of them was actually a trip to go and see Bob. So there you go. So I can manifest it and bring it. So grounding mattress.
This is true.
I'm coming for you. The other one is silver singlets. Now, when we had a Kes Legend on our show, she was talking about wearing clothing that's embedded with silver. The mattress is also embedded with silver, but just to EMF protective and all that sort of stuff.
And also antimicrobial.
Antimicrobial, yes. And the NAC protocol, which we alluded to, we will be doing a show on that in the early new year. I'm bringing that to you just in terms of fungal load, because we're bacteriosapiens. So we're more bacteria than we are physical matter. So there you have it. So I look forward to trying that as well in the early new year. I really want to get my hands on the Wellness Brothers air purifier, because like I said, battling mold and fungus and stuff, you really need to be purifying your air. And even as I sit here and speak to you, Jody, while we're recording this episode, I've got visible mold on my windowsills. So
oh no
yeah, so that is high on my priority list. And then whatever LifeWave come out with in 2024, I'm sure will be epic, and I'm keen to get my hands on that. So
and just going back to the air purifier, I'm excited about getting that too. But I do have a great air purifier, not as good as theirs. So, and I don't think I have mold. I have a mold test just to make sure. But, we're so, with what happened with Bob and the black mold and
hypervigilant.
Yeah, hypervigilant. And just all the stuff we've just learned about fungus. It's like, whoa, this is a really big problem that a lot of people do not talk about.
Nope. Yeah. So it'll be a big feature of 2024 shows for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. So our focus for 2024, you want to start, Annie? You do the left side, I'll do the right side.
All right. Sounds good. Remember which left. So the other left. So we'll be looking at light frequency medicine, which, will culminate, we'll have Kes Legend on, and she'll talk us through some stuff, more Dr. Cami with the Rasha and all that sort of stuff.
And
LifeWave is absolutely part of that, light and frequency. EMF protection, again, will come with, we'll have Kes on for that, and anyone else we can find who can talk to us about that. Emotional health, we'll have you, Jody. We'll feature you and your work, and
Annie will interview me.
That's been really powerful it has. Amazing. And it dovetailed with conscious language so well, I thought. So we'll be working on some exciting stuff on that. Nutrition and lifestyle. I believe we're going to have your coach on your food program on the show in the new year, which will be exciting. We're looking forward to that. And just looking at how we eat. And I mean, I'm not a big food person, really. I'm not a big fan. I have had one meal a day for the last 8 years at least.
Oh, wow.
I'm not a big eater, and I don't really, but I don't believe in eating really because of what we're capable of, but also because of the impact it's had on my health. If I eat too much, then my blood pressure is like, and then she's, woo, see you later. Anyway. So that's kind of how I've developed that ethos. Upgrading our environments. What do you remind me what we mean about that, Jody? I choose to remember.
Just like the air purifier and like upgrading, like environmentally, all this stuff. Yeah. And just it kind of helps with conscious language, like there were upgrades there, in our language and stuff, but also upgrading your environment with making sure you're taking care of all those things around you, that it's not just in your body, but it is also your environment. And it could be people and things and invaders, and like light, air, all that, where you live, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And then we're really interested in getting to the root causes of things, which is what we're finding out now about certain things, is because, a lot of the things we tackle was just like symptoms or just, maybe a little bit beneath that, but really getting to what is the real cause of this and digging for that. And it takes a lot of research and a lot of work to figure that out.
Yeah.
And then co-creating our future. And that has a lot to do with the conscious language stuff.
Yes.
And then also claiming your superpowers, which has to do with your with conscious language, but as well as the emotional health stuff. It's big in that, is claiming how powerful you are, and all the stuff that we're going to do with Adrian, which is just realizing how powerful we are, how powerful human beings are, and how they've tried to devolve us so that we don't even know how powerful we are. Because we are incredibly powerful, so much more powerful than we ever even realized, and it is insane.
And it's a big picture thing, so it's on every level. It's on our physical level, it's on our spiritual level, on our emotional level, on our mental level. It's on all the levels,
right?
That we're talking about.
Yes, exactly.
But especially physical, we're going to be focusing a lot on how physically powerful we are.
Yes,
yeah. I'm excited about that.
It's very exciting. And with that said,
there will be plenty more woo. This is just, heads up. There will be plenty more woo.
20 more. Yeah, we're gonna be getting into the woo stuff. Some people might not like it, but we don't care because we're into that stuff and we're learning so much about it. So tell them about this new series we're doing.
So yes, this series that we're introducing in 2024. I'm so excited. We are going to have Adrian Frattle, our very good friend, share with us all the connections, all the dot connecting, all the deep dives that she has and the pieces of the puzzle she's put together in terms of our physical devolvement and how powerful we actually are and how our bodies are designed to heal themselves and what we're actually capable of. And we will go on that journey as to how to get there. So it might take a while, but niacin is a big part of it. And NAC is a big part of it.
And also why they're using us as technology, our bodies, and how that's happening and why. And then it's because we're more powerful than a computer, any kind of networking system our body is.
Well, and this perfectly dovetails in what we uncovered with Abby Rose in terms of how they literally this world revolves around our energy output and what we contribute to it, not what they contribute.
And she said we are the currency. She said they make money off our activity. And I was thinking about what we've learned about this stuff. And I said, well, what do you mean by activity? Because they do make money off of our activity, our physical activity. And she said it's the fees and like all the transactions that we do, they make money off of that. So she was talking about currency as in financial currency.
Yes.
But they're making money off of our electrical currency.
Well, and this is where we learned how interesting conscious language is, or how language, because it actually talks about on so many layers.
Yeah, it's the operating system, right?
The
operating system. We could probably control it, right? And prevent, our body from being used.
And so much more. So we're really excited about that, about having Adrian and featuring We Are the Tech on our Wellness Superheroes in 2024. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that. And finally, we have finished the Patching Superheroes website launch. And I worked so hard on this, and I kept having
you work like stink, Jody.
Roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, and I finally finished. And so we've launched it. We're going to be putting out, we did a whole walkthrough. We haven't put that out yet. We'll probably do that on January 1st, I think. And you can go into it now. It's live. And we're really proud of it. And it's basically everything you need to know about the patches, and how to order. And if you want to, meet with us, talk to us, you can schedule an appointment, and all the different podcasts and stuff you can attend to learn more. And we've even got some checklists out there that you can download. It's just chock full of information, and we will be continuing to add to it. But I'm so glad that's done, because now I can concentrate on actually helping people instead of trying to get this site up, which has been just a bear. And I'm really good and fast. But we kept getting, the language was like, we couldn't use this, we couldn't use that. But I just kept getting all kinds of technical difficulties like you would not believe. And that's never happened before, not to this level. So this is obviously really important, because it was just like, it was just, anyway. So it's all done now.
It's done. It looks great. We're very proud of it. And
Jody, we're
you've done an amazing job. You've done an amazing job.
And it's not that much information. It's a lot, but it's a lot of different sources, but I just had so many issues, But as Mark Twain, one of my favorite quotes is, I would have written a shorter letter, but I didn't have time. I love that, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, super proud about this. And then Annie, take it away.
So we're working on putting out more written content. We've had great ideas from our guests and our audience, you as our audience, and our friends who have suggested so many things, and we want to compile them and put them in little resources for you to bring and share to your friends and your family and what have you, so that you're not having to jump through all the hoops and scour the internet and like all the things we've done in our health journey, just to condense it for you. So we will be releasing, we've changed the title. It was Parasite Focus. It will be now Big On Little Buggers. That's our new ebook that we'll be releasing early 2024. We'll be doing one on CS, so that you can know all the benefits of this amazing substance, and protecting your family and all that sort of stuff. EMF protection, we're going to collaborate with Kes Legend and put together a really good resource on protecting yourself from EMF and blue light toxicity. Jody is going to be releasing her ebook on emotional burnout. And
I'll have more than one. I'm going to release.
You're going to have more than one. You're going to have.
I've already done, and then my new one, which I'm going to incorporate conscious language. So there will be one available as soon as we launch this, and like she said, in early 2024. So
all the things with conscious language, which we'll be going forward calling it a quantum language. So there's so much that we intend to bring to you as our audience and resources, so that you can empower your communities.
Exactly. And these will be minimal charge. It'll be like $10
behind paywalls.
Behind paywalls. So these will all be less than $10 and take a lot of our time and effort to bring to you. But we figure it's safer behind a paywall.
Than for free.
Than for free. And it's a lot of effort on our part, and we collaborate with the people who are experts. I mean, with the Be Gone Little Buggers, we talked about this last year. We finished it a while ago, but we just didn't bring it out. But I mean, it was a lot of our time. I would say it was, gosh, I don't know.
Coordinating 3 time zones too, because
Yeah,
Hannah's over in Western
yeah,
Australia, I'm over here on the East Coast, and you're over there.
yeah.
And
I mean,
we've spent a lot of time and effort for
yeah, like
free on
probably
these
200
projects.
man hours between the three of us,
Mm,
you know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it was a lot of work, and I know that the CS one will be a lot of work. We'll collaborate with my stepmother on
Mhm.
that, and like she
With
said, collaborate
Kez.
with Kez, and I'll do the emotional burnout. So that's me by myself, and then conscious language will be mostly Annie, because she's an expert, and I'll help out a little bit. But yeah, we're so excited about these. So excited about these.
Yeah.
And then we're coming out with some online courses. So the first one, Annie, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so we'll be this one probably won't be for a while. I'm thinking this will probably launch more likely. We'll be working on it in 2024. I think
Yeah,
it's more
maybe
likely to launch in
second.
2025.
Yeah, it'll be
The
like the
quantum language and
latter
body
end.
language.
Yeah,
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 body signals,
yeah.
because just because of the enormity and really trying to capture and honor Bob's life's work, 55 years. That doesn't
Mhm.
just you can't really just regurgitate that and spit that out in a
No,
nice little package. We
no.
require to work through that and embody it ourselves, which then requires, doing digging in your own backyard. So
Yeah, but
that 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 will
I
be a
think,
labor
yeah,
of love.
but I think we can do some smaller ones that, target certain problems or, benefits that aren't, and,
Yeah.
I think eventually we'll have like, like a reference guide for both of those.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
But we want to go through and I don't want to say correct, but adjust things that we didn't really resonate with. We want to honor his work, but we also we feel like there's some things in there that we were like, I don't know about that.
There's a little bit sabotagey as well,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
hasn't had the impact that so much of his. There were so many miracles we witnessed with Bob's work, and then there were just certain things that was like a little bit off kilter, and it's like, is that intentional?
Yeah.
I choose to know. So
Yeah. And I think too with his work, he would always say to me, like, I'm an emotional empowerment coach, and to me, it's like you need to deal with your stuff and process your stuff out of your head, out of your body.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And I don't practice it as much as I should, but it's very important for you to do that to be a healthy person.
mm-hmm.
He did not believe in that, and he would say, "Oh, don't release it, just transmute it." Well, that doesn't always work because you have to get to it and then get it out. Know what it is, get it out of your head and your body. And it was very obvious to me that he had not done that himself, and that was a flaw in his work, that he didn't connect that, that it's going to be so much easier to do his work if you've done the emotional
Yes.
processing work.
Yes.
Yeah. So thinking of that, so the next two are the ones that I'm doing. One is, I'm calling it Boundaries 101. It'll probably be something different, but it's a very simple course just about learning why you have a hard time setting boundaries, certain people, and then just recognizing it, and then figuring out how to set it with different people, like spouses, children, parents, bosses, friends, all that kind of stuff. We all have a hard time setting boundaries, and even with your time and your space and your employer, even if it's not a person, why we overwork and why we do certain things, and figuring out where the boundary is and how to set it and stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
Super hard for a lot of people, and so that's going to be the focus on that. And then the next one is a longer, what I'm calling a signature course, which is overcoming burnout in 90 days. So that's going to be really cool, and I can't wait for that to come out. And it's going to be very exciting. So Boundaries 101, first quarter of 2024, overcoming burnout, probably second quarter. I hope I can get it first quarter, but I don't think that's possible. So probably second quarter. And then the last one is, I called it taking charge of our health, taking charge of your health, where to start. So tell us the precipitous of this course.
This course idea was brought to me by my very good dear friend Leonie, who's up north, and she sort of said, having something where people who who aren't aware of, you know, going on detoxes and taking charge of their health, a one-stop where they can go instead of having to painstakingly go through the roller coaster ride of all the people you follow with all the fallouts and all that sort of stuff, the pitfalls of various biohackers and stuff on the internet. And so this will just be basically a foundation, a pillar of foundations for what people can look at in terms of starting to chip away, in terms of claiming back their own health sovereignty, and, you know, simple things like looking up the ingredients on the back of your cleaning products and eliminating things and swapping things out, and we will give foundational information, kind of like on, you know, heavy metals and the parabens and the, you know, endocrine disruptors, and just encompass all of that for a first time beginner, you know, like families and friends who are like, huh, what are you doing, you know, and who are oblivious to all the things that we seasoned and sage ones have
Right.
have walked through. So that will be kind of like a 101 and a good foundational education for where people can start. So avoid the overwhelm and take their health, start to take their health back, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be good.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
Thank you, every single one of you who have watched any one of our episodes in part or in whole in 2023, for joining us on this journey to reclaiming our bodily autonomy and health sovereignty. You play a big part of our inspiration and motivation. As you can tell, we've talked about that in our audience on Telegram. We're specifically especially grateful for.
Yes,
because we learn a lot from our regulars in our chats, and we are thankful for you.
Yeah, and we also want to thank Adrian and Kelsey for helping us so much this year. They really helped us a lot. And they were our brains trust, as we called them. So I want to thank them as well.
Yes.
And then
I would like to thank, sorry to cut you off, I would like to thank every single guest who we had on our show this year.
Every single guest, yes. Every single guest. And I think, too, even the people who got mad at us because we didn't like a protocol or we didn't agree with them, we want to thank them for, you know, speaking their truth and their experience. And it's not about being right or wrong. You know, we always talk about our experience with stuff and not telling someone they're right or wrong about something.
Well, we've learned from every person.
We've learned from every single people have left our chat because they got mad that they, you know, that we didn't recommend something that we, you know, were sharing that we thought was good before they get mad and leave. And so, or if we interviewed the one who shall not be named, the Dr. A, and they, you know, they have opinions about him, and that's fine if you can have an opinion about him, a different opinion. We don't care. But people left because of that. So, and it's funny because it's not just because we interview someone doesn't mean we agree with everything they say. We're just looking for truth and looking for solutions. And we want to interview everyone that we resonate with in some way. And every single person.
Or who is even shining a light on an issue that is not getting much attention. We do.
Exactly. And
wellness investigation.
And every one of the people we've interviewed, we've resonated with in some way. So if you all could manage for 2023, if all you could manage for 2023 was to survive, you're still here. You did it.
Yeah. We're proud of you, and we are declaring your victory.
Absolutely.
So well done.
Yeah. So well done. We want to wish all of our wellness superheroes out there a safe and happy new year, 2024. And as always, you know where to find us. Just go to our link tree. It has all of our links. We will probably be moving to a different platform because Linktree banned our writing on links. And it said unsafe link to both to our show and to our channel there. So we were like, well, no wonder people weren't subscribing.
Yes.
Couldn't get to it.
Nope.
Yeah. So
anyway. Linktree for now.
Yeah. So we come to the end of our show.
We have.
Yes.
It's been a year, Jody. So I'm thankful for you. I'm so rapt that we got to meet in person. That solidified an already great working relationship we have.
Yes,
We laughed
absolutely.
so much.
We laughed so hard. Oh my gosh. And we kept saying the same thing at the same time.
We did.
We would be like, I'd open my mouth and Annie was standing next to me and she would say what I was getting ready to say. And I'd go, I was like, what? Like, and then the whole candy wrapper thing, that was hilarious.
So funny.
Yeah.
So funny.
It was really funny.
It's been an amazing year. It went really fast. We've learned so much. And I think that we're coming a long way than where we were at the beginning of the year, even when we first started. I know that our work is making a difference in this world. Mm-hmm. And I'm not interested in making the big time. We both have a heart to help people, and I hope that our audience knows that we are intentional about how much care and how much we treasure our community and for fostering that and stewarding our community. So we like we keep a safe place and people are free to share their struggles, and that we're here to support them.
Yeah. And it's not all about, we don't want to get like hundreds, we don't want to get tens of thousands of followers, and we're not really interested in that. We're just really interested in helping people and interviewing people who are looking for the truth and looking for real solutions and healing ourselves, and then sharing it with everybody. And if you feel like you want to share, obviously we want you to do that. But we've both been heavily targeted, and so that's why we're not like shouting from the rooftops a lot of stuff, because we don't want to be on the radar as much as I was before with what I was doing. And so I'm just kind of keeping it on a low profile of, as much as we can, but we still want to be out there spreading truth and helping people, absolutely helping people. So, and we just met amazing people on our journey, and so many people have gone, oh my gosh, I watched your shows and I couldn't believe how much I learned. And, nobody's talking about what you're talking about, everything that we've put together and the different things that we're doing. So
I also just want to thank our families and our friends here and yonder. Most everyone who is dear to my heart and I know I speak to on a regular basis is not local to me. So Jody, I know, and Adrian and Kelsey and all these people Cynthia, we've had that I've met now in person and are across the globe, or rather across the plane. Well,
and I want to just also put a light on Cynthia. I mean, I want to really thank Cynthia Sharp. She has been so supportive of everything I've done, of everything we've done. And she's just kind of followed along with us and blazed her own trails here and there and sharing stuff. And she's just such a bright light, and I just adore her.
And even those who don't like their names and faces brought forward, your feedback and your support, your presence and your feedback, and we value it greatly.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
And,
thanks, Jody.
Also I want to thank Lillian Walker too. That's another one.
Yes.
Being introduced to her from Alicia. I want to thank Alicia Salvato, who brought the patches to us and introduced us to Lillian Walker, who has made such a huge difference. And she has just been a gem, as she says. And she has helped us. Friend and gem. She has helped us in dire situations, dropping everything to come help us in any way she can. She's been amazing. I just feel like she's such a dear person to me now. She's just amazing. So
absolutely. So yes, we thank you all for your part that you've played in our Wellness Superheroes community, whether you're a guest, you're a viewer, a commenter, or a friend.
Yes,
we are thankful for you.
Yes. All right, I think that wraps it up. Thanks.
That's a wrap.
Right.